Piano Book is the largest collection of free sampled instruments on the internet. If you've not experienced it, go to pianobook.co.uk. Now, for those of you who've been following this extraordinary journey, you'll understand that it's been besieged by a series of what I guess for us has been a privilege of sorts, and that is a set of success problems. Not a day goes by where I don't grieve the fact that I cannot give it my full attention, 24/7, full focus, full time, because it is the proudest achievement of my professional career. What I've done is I've had to face facts that because of my job as a media composer and because of my job as a founder of Crow Hill, I'll never be able to give it the attention it richly deserves. So I've been on the hunt for a creative director. And during this video, I'm going to introduce you to that person. But first up, we have Felt and Fog by Renga. What's nice to see is people using decent sampler and getting really creative with the GUIs and having... I didn't realise you could get this kind of scripting detail into decent sampler. Excuse my ignorance regarding that, but this is really encouraging to see. This trick is really important if you're doing these types of aleatoric. I mean, I did the mandolin swarm, I don't know, probably well over 10 years ago. And the idea was to play a tremolandi, but to play it very, very slow so that you don't just get this kind of sheen of notes. It's more you can hear each note. So it's really repeating the note very slowly. And again, so contemporary. Beautiful. I met this chap maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and he struck me as having this very rare combination of skills that has led to this moment. That he is a technologist, understands technology and what goes into things like sample instruments. An incredibly active and generous member of the community, and he is that because he gets it. He gets how special it is. Something that's important for me is he's an aesthete with a fine sense of the importance of how things look and behave. But most of all, he's a communicator, and a brilliant one at that. It is my complete honour to introduce to you Mr. Owen Bolig. How are you doing, sir?
I am great, Christian. It is not like we've just been talking for half an hour.
About weddings.
About what? And of course my phone just screwed up the intro, but whatever.
So you're in Nashville, and I visited you out there a couple of times now. You came across Piano Book how long, and what's your kind of background and stuff?
So, bullet points, played guitar as a kid, did music production because I had to record myself, did the safe thing and went the engineering route instead of music, but then learned I hated it, came back to it, and the more I got into audio recording, the more I got into making tools for people that do music production.
Basically, I asked Owen about giving Piano Book what it needs, creative force that's on it full time, not unlike me, who's kind of popping in and popping out. And Owen's made this fantastic video that sums it up better than I could.
What would you do if you were offered the keys to a community of 500,000 people? That just happened to me. And here's the catch. This is an offer to be the creative director for Piano Book, an online community of music makers. I've always held the role of a developer, not a performer, while the person that I'm replacing is a phenomenal composer. How am I supposed to replace someone like that when, to be frank, I'm kind of shit at piano? So why me? This is a classic case of imposter syndrome. I am disregarding the fact that I've created 20 commercial products, started my own plugin company, and built the catalog for Somerville Sounds, which is taking off right now. But before all of that, I started off creating free libraries on Piano Book. The big question is, should I accept this role when I lack the piano playing abilities of the majority of the members on Piano Book? I decided yes, because I may not be a great piano player, but I am a creator and I have a history of helping others to create. And who knows, maybe this is finally my chance to get good at piano. Ever since that first email from Christian, I've been practicing about 2 hours a day. So feel free to come over to the Piano Book channel, find some new libraries, while also critiquing my horrible technique. But I'm getting better.
Next up, Arrival by Deignor or Deignor. I'm so sorry, mate. Is anyone clocking the sea mist that's going along when you play? I'm really impressed with GUI. So the minute I take up trying to figure out GUIs, I'm immediately put to massive amounts of shame. I love a curated synth set. This to me just sounds of 2025. Don't need to do anything, don't need to search, just every sound is on the money. Micro tuning and everything. It's really, truly, absolutely brilliant. great about this. There's ways of designing your own. Right. Well, Arrival's going in my template then. So I spoke to Owen about what the next steps are for Piano Book, but also what it's like working with the team of Stephen Tallamy, Simon Fife, and our webmaster, Pete Clark.
I'm coming at this position from being a user, so I'm trying to like really hone in on what I really enjoy about Piano Book, and I'm assuming that a lot of those same factors other people enjoy. With Piano Book, I came in seeing a lot of people that were very good at things that I was not very strong at, like composing or recording, but I'm good at programming, which is frequently not a skill of people that have focused on becoming great composers. So I came into this feeling like I had a purpose. I was like needed. I was useful to other people. It was great to like find a community online. And yeah, I made a lot of friends. I mean, I didn't use Discord at all before Piano Book, and now I have like a huge friends list that's exclusively people that I've like worked with through Piano Book. That's one of the things I want to focus on, just feeling like you're part of a community, getting feedback on the work that you've done. I think Piano Book is one of those places where it proves that, yeah, there are these like professionally recorded sample packs, and they're great for what they are, but if something has character and like flaws, like I think you talk about this, I don't remember when it was, like what video it was, but you talked about the early days of Spitfire and how y'all were like leaning into not having perfectly sampled sounds, and that was what set y'all apart from everyone else. And I think Piano Book is like that on the side of the sample packs themselves, but you also get to know the people that built the instruments, and that makes it like feel more precious to you. And I think that that sense of wanting something that is more human, it's already here even before AI, because we have the plugins that are like, they emulate the crackle of a vinyl record and things like that. I mean, that's always been here. I think that this is just another version of that. Yeah. And Piano Book is a great example of something that now seems even more fantastic because of this new AI music kind of stuff.
How are you finding working with Pete?
Great. Great.
I'm sure he's very pleased to be working with you.
Yeah, I sent him a message yesterday talking about this, being like I've spent a good amount of time programming, but I've always been like the sole programmer for any project. I don't have anyone that I like collaborate with. In regards to scripting, of course, I rely on the partner to be in charge of the samples and the bigger idea kind of stuff. So this is the first time I've gotten to work alongside someone that speaks the same language as me. And that's really great. Like Pete and I we have these group meetings, and they are fantastic. And the other day, Pete and I had just like a one-on-one, and like, I think it was only like 20 minutes, but he was like writing down like all the ideas we were having, just because like we both talk the same way. So it's great being able to work with Pete.
Tabulated conversation.
That sounds about right.
If people are trying Piano Book for the first time, either downloading stuff or submitting stuff, or indeed coming back to Piano Book after a bit of a hiatus, what would you really encourage people to do other than just download
upload.
What I'm pushing for is for people to review instruments, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to try to like lead by example, because I know when I am uploading instruments to Piano Book, I personally don't really care how many people have downloaded. I could have 1,000 downloads and only one review, and that one review means so much to me and makes me want to improve and not feel, and it makes me feel like I'm not just posting my work into a black hole and no one sees it. So if you really like an instrument, just know if you leave a review, you are making it more likely that that person is going to put up another instrument. So you're going to get yet another great tool to use. So it's mutually beneficial.
Something that I would really urge people who are submitting, who are developers, or we're going to start referring to as creators, I think that what makes this very unique is the stories behind these recordings and these instruments.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. Yeah. I think this is one of those few cases where you can lean into that, because everything else, like if you're a company and you're posting a sample pack, you need to make this like professional video so people take you seriously. I think Piano Book is one of those wonderful places where it doesn't matter if you're recording on a webcam, as long as you're telling the story of the sound that you are like providing the community.
To be perfectly honest, to sound, I haven't quite got my head around this, but it's a lot of fun. I love playing around with the sustain pedal.
When I was in college, every summer I would go back home and I worked construction for that like 3 months, 4-month period of time. And then whatever money I made during that time was what I was able to spend while I was off at college. And I was paired up with a man named Leno. His full name was Magdaleno, but we called him Leno. And I remember the first time that I worked with him, he used to do this thing where there would be a job that I had never done, maybe like patching a wall, pretended it was patching a wall. And he would say, Owen, go do that. Go patch that wall. And I'd say, Leno, I don't know how to. And he's like, just do it. I was like, what do you mean? And then he would just like shoo me away. And I remember I would patch the wall. I would attempt to patch the wall, and he would walk past me while I was doing it, not say anything. And then when I was like nearly done, he would come up at the very end and be like, you did it wrong. And I used to get so frustrated by that way of teaching, of not really teaching, but it has stuck to me this day of basically what he was trying to show me was like the hard thing is just like starting. And you're going to learn how not to do things. But the only way you learn how not to do things is by like actually doing it. Leno didn't necessarily need to teach me because it seemed like no one ever taught Leno. And he just like through years of experience, he learned the best ways for him to do what he did. I think about that a lot with learning anything, not just sampling. Like I'm learning piano right now. And the hard thing is just starting. You learn from experience. And I think Piano Book is a great place to just experiment, to post products. And the great thing about it is that you get feedback about everything, and leaning into like what we were talking about of not feeling so lonely. That's very beneficial. It helps you have more drive to continue to grow.
There's a wonderful opportunity to be had here, and I'm so delighted that you've agreed to take this very hot potato, and I'm really excited to see what you and Pete do, and whatever I can do to help with the cause. As I mentioned before, I'm hoping to do a monthly kind of magazine thing. Hopefully you can take part in that. But anything else I can help with, I'm here.
And I'm super excited about this. I'm very nervous. I make that. I'm not trying to hide that. I'm nervous, but I'll learn from doing. So I'll figure it out.
So as I said before, if you haven't experienced Piano Book, do pop over to pianobook.co.uk. It really is quite extraordinary. If you've had a break, a hiatus from Piano Book, have a little peek at what we've been up to. There's new blog posts there, but also Pete has been doing some great stuff, kind of tightening the site up. This is, again, it's just the beginning of the next chapter where we're going to realize all sorts of ambitions that I just simply didn't have the bandwidth to realize up till Owen stepped in, as he has so gracefully done. I'm really looking forward to seeing the wonderful work that he does, and I hope you can all join me in wishing him all the best. As a little treat for you, if you pop along to Piano Book, you'll see that I've put a couple of new packs up. I'm currently having a bit of a chuck out. I'm basically building my private sample library up from scratch. Piano Book's very much going to be involved in that. But I don't know about you, whenever I have a chuck out of stuff, I always find something that I forgot that I had. And this is just one of those cases. It's a special thing that's just been put up on Piano Book, so enjoy. Thanks, as always, for the amazing submissions that we featured here. They're all linked in the video description down below, and the wonderful demos that you've been listening to. If you do enjoy things that you download from Piano Book, do become part of the community by doing demos for the different instruments, or indeed leaving reviews. That's really important. Subscribe if you haven't done already. There's so many kind of really interesting threads to this YouTube channel that are being developed, and I have no doubt that there'll be all sorts of exciting treats coming up. One of those for Owen, please. See you next time.